And here we are, another night of being off work. It was a fun Thursday, and tomorrow is a really fun Friday. That's gonna be nice. Hello, sunshine. And so I think that tonight is a good night for a night chat. Well, I just seem to have a real knack for picking full moon nights to do night chats. And that one is a beauty tonight, shining bright and full. No clouds to obstruct its vastness and brightness, and I like it a lot. And look at this tonight. Spot number 2, parked in the wrong spot. Spot number 1, my spot. I guess over here in the grass, that's gonna be spot number 0 apparently for this person. This is just unbelievable. And no, I'm not gonna call to have either of them towed. The person who owns this apartment should do that. And, well, I probably could, but who knows? This guy's probably temporary, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it, but it's just funny. Well, hello there, and welcome to another beautiful night for a night chat here on Tommy Travels the Second. And it is a beautiful full moon outside. It's a perfect night for a night chat. It's also one of those perfect nights where you'd want to come home and just turn on a good scary movie. Do you ever have nights like that where it's just like, this is just the kind of night I just want to watch something scary? What kind of movie do you turn on in those situations? That's the kind of thing that we are going to be talking about tonight. Scary movies. And if you are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing. And I will see you right after this. And if you want to see a good scary movie out there, you've got a lot of options. There's Michael Myers and Freddy and Jason. I remember the first ones of those movies got me when I was a kid. That's when they came out. And they all really got me, but Freddy, that one really got me with the knives for fingers, and he can show up in your dreams, and wow, that one was always good. Now they've made so many of them that they've really become a parody of themselves, so it's almost comical watching them now than scary. But if it's just a little nostalgic trip down memory lane that you want to use for some entertainment, those are still good movies to watch. But there's a lot of other kind of scary movie genres too, besides those serial killer types of movies, and that's the really intense ones like Silence of the Lambs. I think that really changed the dynamic of scary movies from then on, because there really wasn't like a Silence of the Lambs type of movie out there before that I know of. If you can think of one, put a comment below. But I think that movie kind of changed the direction from, hey, let's make another Jason movie, to, hey, let's make something that's really intense, that puts people through a psychological thriller. And those are the kind of movies that I really enjoy. The ones that really scare me are the ones that mess with your head a little bit. And so tonight, I want to talk about some movies that have come out since Silence of the Lambs that are kind of my go-to movies for ones that I remember really having an effect on me when they came out. Maybe not really scared, but the psychological stuff that gets me, that I think about still to this day sometimes with these movies. And so the first one that I want to talk about is The Sixth Sense. That was a great movie with Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, and my gosh, I wasn't really scared during that movie. A lot of the parts of the movie were just slow. Bruce being a psychologist, walking around with that kid, the whole movie. A lot of it was kind of slow and dramatic. But then that twist at the end, and it sets your brain into motion. It's like, but wait a minute, didn't he? Oh yeah. Oh no. But what about when? No, no, not then. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. That's how I reacted to that movie, and I think a lot of other people did too, because it's still talked about to this day. That was a brilliant piece of work. Now, M. Night Shyamalan, there's a lot of other movies that he's come out with since then that did not do the trick, like The Town. That was just dumb. I guess the twist within about 5 minutes of the movie, and that's the problem, is that it's hard to create a brilliant piece of film like he did. It reminded me of the Twilight Zone show, and they managed to do that almost every week, come up with something. And it's just very hard for Hollywood to come up with an original idea like that anymore. And so there were a lot of movies that came out since The Sixth Sense that I did not like. I thought I had totally lost it on scary movies. I thought, they're not going to ever be able to make one that scares me again. And then along came Saw. Wow. If you haven't seen Saw, that's where there's a guy out there, and you actually do know who it is. They show him in the movie. So it's not a real secret as to who he is, but he runs into people that have, they're morally damaged in some ways. And he picks out these people, kind of ones that he encounters along the way. Maybe somebody that took a bribe, and then somebody else who did some other little thing that they thought was inconsequential at the time. Well, maybe that little inconsequential decision turned into somebody getting into an accident later, or somebody else being harmed in some way. Well, those people wind up getting drugged and waking up in a room, usually chained to a sink or something like that. And then they can have this big metal contraption on their head, or some other type of contraption or puzzle that they have to solve. And it's like, hey, the key to get you out of this head contraption, which is going to snap and kill you, is in your arm. You have to rip open your arm to get it, and then you have to do some other crazy thing to get the key, because the lock is out of your reach, so you have to do something else. And it's just stuff like that, where it puts you into situations where you think, oh my gosh, what would I do? What's this person going to do? And it is gory at times, and it is, not the best movie for kids to watch or anything like that, but my gosh, that one was good. Now, they've made a lot of them since, and I watch them just because they're Saw movies, but there's never been another one to live up to the first one, and now it's getting to the point where it's just a joke now, too. But that, Saw, was a great movie. If you haven't seen it, that's a good one if you can handle the gore. And then, a little ways after Saw came out, another movie came out called Hostel. And it's a little different concept, but still equally disturbing, for sure. And it's based on the idea that kids in college during the summer will like to take opportunities to go backpacking through Europe and stay at places on the cheap, and they might not stay in a ritzy hotel on these kinds of budgets, so they will stay in a hostel. And this movie is based around one where these college kids show up. Some of them get drugged and brought to a very scary place, a very kind of underground, basically a warehouse of little rooms, killing rooms as I would call them. And it's not one serial killer, it's a whole network. Imagine being a very rich person at your office and you get an email or a text and it says, we have this person, it's an American, female or male or whatever description that shows up. And that person could then bid on being able to be the one to kill whoever it is they're bidding on. And those little messages go out around the world. And these people are people that have fantasized about torturing and killing people in brutal ways. And So the highest bidder gets to go into that room and find their victim chained to a chair or whatever, and all sorts of instruments of death provided for them in this room, and they just go live out the whatever sick fantasy that they have. And so that's not the reason I liked the movie. The reason I liked the movie is because picturing one of those college kids from their eyes, how in the heck do you get out of that? And that's what fascinated me through the movie, is what would you do? Oh my gosh. It's something that it still disturbs me to this day. If you're disturbed by movies after you watch them, this probably isn't one of those, hey, let's just watch a scary movie. This one will stick with you for a while. So if you don't like really mentally challenging movies to get through, let's say, this may not be the one to watch, but it definitely had an effect on me. I still think about it from time to time and how just screwed up that movie was. There is one movie that I do want to mention, though, that actually goes way before The Sixth Sense and a ways back. I don't remember when it came out exactly, but it's called The Hitcher. And, oh man, that movie got me too. Because it wasn't really scary, but it was scary. It's hard to explain. But it's not like monster scary, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's a kid just he's on a road trip. And then there's this giant big rig truck that he notices is kind of following him. And he'll get off the road to stop at a rest stop or something, and sure enough, there's that truck rolling in, and that truck always seems to be behind him, and it's starting to really freak him out. And that movie is about what all happens from there, about this trucker, and I don't want to say much more about it, but if you can look up The Hitcher, that is a great movie. And the last movie I want to talk about here tonight is the most recent one that I really liked as a scary movie, and that is called Get Out. And it's a Jordan Peele movie, and if you're not sure who he is, he's from the comedy group Key and Peele, and he is amazing. He's also the guy that is the host of the new Twilight Zone TV show from CBS, and he is very talented. My gosh, he came up with a good movie. And it's a mixed race couple that goes to meet her parents. And as they do that, some weird things slowly start to unfold that start just to be mildly like weird to, oh my gosh. That's all I'm going to say about that movie, because it's a newer movie and I definitely don't want to spoil it for anybody. Saw and Hostel, those are older, so I talked a little bit more about them. And if it keeps you from seeing the movie, you might just be better off anyway, so I don't mind doing that. But that Get Out movie is well worth seeing if you haven't already. And so my question for you is, what movie or movies out there can you think of that really had an effect on you, that you still think about to this day? When you watch it, you cover yourself up with the blanket. Those kind of movies. Because there might be a movie that you've seen that I haven't seen yet that would be really good. And so if you put it in the comments below and I haven't seen it, I'll watch it. And then I will do a review and give you a personal shout out on Tommy Travels the Second. So there's a challenge. Find a movie that I haven't seen that's really scary, and I will review it for you and for everyone. And so, bring it on. Well, you guys, this has been another successful edition, a full moon edition of Night Chat here on Tommy Travels the Second. We've been talking all about scary movies that I've seen through the years, and they were really scary for me. So, if you watch them, just be careful. And if you guys liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. While you're at it, go ahead and hit subscribe so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. And you guys, thank you so much for the support that you've given me so far. And until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side.